Buju, wago shindagu migizi indodem, gazaga squaji mekag, indun jaba. Today I'd like to share a perspective about the origin and use of the word squaw. Now, with regard to the origin of the word squaw, there's a little bit of debate. There is a word in the Mohawk language for female genitalia that sounds remarkably close to the word squaw, but it is much more likely that the word made its transference into the English language from one of the Algonquian languages. In the language that I speak, Ojibwe, the word for woman is ikwe. In the Cree language, the word for woman is iskwe. And in many of the other Algonquian languages, it is pretty close to iskwe or skwe. And it's pretty easy to understand how some early French explorer wrote it out and it made its morph into the word that we are more familiar with today. Regardless of the origin of the word, the real problem is simply in its usage. So just like, what we think of today as the Nazi swastika actually has origins independently in many different cultures in North America, in Asia, and in Europe. And usually, for example, for southwestern tribes in North America, is a reference to spirits in each of the four directions. Harmless, helpful, positive, but the issue is not the origin of that symbol, but its usage. Obviously, it was the insignia for Nazi Germany, who tried to exterminate the Jewish population, committed genocide, and all kinds of atrocities on many different kinds of people. And so the use of the Nazi swastika could easily be understood as racist. And because it was co-opted and misused that way, most people understandably do not center it in their shared cultural space or use it as an emblem, for a tribal cultural program or something like that. And similarly, it has been the use of the word squaw to objectify and denigrate Native women that has caused its great problem. You have to understand that sexual assault rates in a place like America are 25%. 1 out of 4 women in America will be sexually assaulted during her lifetime. The sexual assault rates for Native women are at 50%, 50%. And because of this, for every single Native person, male or female, either for them or someone in their most immediate circle of loved ones, being quote unquote treated like a squaw is both intensely painful and personal. Therefore, most Native people strongly object to the use of the word squaw in social conversation, as a name for a product like bread. It's actually still pretty commonly used by bakeries in the American West for a type of bread, and in place names and so forth. And there's been an effort, kind of grassroots, by many Native people to change some of those place names, some of which have had success. And now Secretary of the Interior Holland is actually pushing for this with regard to federal place names as well. So there is some movement to shift and change this vocabulary. But oftentimes those who aren't familiar with the origin of the word or its use and how it lands with Native people have been defensive of its use, and often telling Native people, well, its origin is just as a word for woman. It's not bad, but they're not understanding the whole context and how it has often been used to objectify and denigrate Native women. So strongly encourage abandonment of the use of the word squaw for place names, product names, and social conversation, and needs to have a more thorough understanding and deeper discussion. Thanks so much for listening today. Miigwech. Thanks for watching today. I'm Anton Treuer. Let's keep in touch. I'm active on social media, and my website has lots of information on my books, speaking engagements, resources for the Ojibwe language, teachers, and more. Miigwech.